So first of all, I think we need to understand the rivalry between Saudi Arabia and Iran in the context of what's happening in the region. For a half a century, from 1956 until 2011, the United States basically protected, sustained an order in this region that was good for its interests and good for its partners, primarily Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt after the Camp David Israel-Egypt treaty. That is the order that broke down in the wake of the Arab uprisings in 2011. And so Saudi Arabia and Iran, who have always been rivals to a certain extent, are now competing for power in a region where everything is up for grabs. So the possibilities are greater, but their fears about what happens if they lose that competition are also much greater. And that's why we see these two sides so fiercely committed to this struggle and willing to do so much more than we might have expected in waging this fight with the other side. So that, I think, is important context. Now, when it comes to legitimacy, which is a fuzzy concept, I'm not sure that's actually the best way to think about the role these governments play in their region. Both Saudi Arabia and Iran use hard power and soft power in trying to extend their influence in the Middle East. They use money. They use arms, not always their own arms. The Saudi Arabian government does not have a large standing army. It doesn't send militias abroad. But the Iranian government doesn't always send its own soldiers. It helps locals build their own militias, okay? So it's a form of hard power, but it's indirect. Both of these governments also have forms of soft power in terms of the religious ideology and the political ideologies that they put forward. The Saudi government, led by King Salman, the custodian of the two holiest mosques in Islam, carries a certain religious legitimacy because of his stewardship of those sites. But that soft power is backed by a lot of money that has flowed out from the kingdom over many years to countries all over the world to try and spread that vision of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as the centerpiece of the Islamic world. The Islamic Republic of Iran has its own religious ideology, rooted in Velayat al-Faqih, the rule of the supreme jurist. It was a novel political form in the Islamic world when it was created in 1979. And they've worked very hard and spent a lot of money and sent a lot of people around the world trying to propagate that idea in Muslim communities in many, many countries. So I think there's hard power, there's soft power. I don't know that either of these governments are really seen as paragons of participatory democracy. They are neither of them democracies. One is a monarchy and the other is a religious dictatorship. But they have other ways of spreading their influence, and I think they've both demonstrated that they're pretty good at it.